There are so many cool things about motivation most people don't know that you gotta watch this video till the end. We all had those moments when motivation suddenly makes us feel energized. It might come from a friend's story, a compelling book, or even a scene from a film. At that moment, we're absolutely unstoppable, envisioning ambitious goals and grand plans. But then suddenly, that enthusiasm fades, and you realize you're not ready to put in the effort. It's happened to you a million times, right? Honestly, it has to me. The short-term desire to achieve something and the actual execution of the plan are two totally different things. It might feel quite disappointing. Hello there, my name is Leah. Until the end of this video, you'll learn some cool methods to improve your motivation and drive. Let's get started. Motivation is linked to a molecule called dopamine. When dopamine levels are low, we feel unmotivated, derive less pleasure from pursuits, and feel physically tired. But when our dopamine levels are elevated, we tend to focus our attention on outward goals, things we want, and we feel motivated to pursue them. The key point here is that with each subsequent time of experiencing pleasure, the pleasure is diminished. When I listen to the music I absolutely love, over time, I start feeling less and less excitement. If you really want to maintain motivation for study, exercise, relationships, or pursuits of any duration and kind, the key thing is to make sure that the peak in dopamine, if it's very high, doesn't occur too often. And if something that does occur very often, that you vary how much dopamine you experience with each engagement in that activity. Sounds a bit complicated. How exactly do I do it? Let's discuss specific tips which will help you manage your motivation. First one is really simple. Don't layer too many sources of dopamine. For example, today you were listening to your favorite music while commuting home, then ordered food and consumed it while watching an interesting movie. And after that, decided to play some video games. Let's suppose you do it this way pretty often, taking all these dopamine triggering sources, causing a crash afterward, ultimately undermining your motivation and continued drive. The problem is that dopamine is a universal currency of craving, motivation, desire, and pleasure. It's not just evoked by one of those activities, but by all of them. You get so much dopamine that even these activities cease to make you feel the same amount of pleasure. So instead, try to change it up. Avoid packing your day too tightly with these activities. Let's jump to another cool thing you can try. It's called intermittent reinforcement, which basically means that you reward yourself, but not every time. Social media applications are a prime example of intermittent reinforcement and its undeniable power. TikTok's algorithm shows users a variety of content, including videos that are likely to resonate with them based on their previous interactions. Yeah, TikTok keeps users hooked by providing them with occasional rewards and surprises, making the platform more engaging and addictive. This is how gambling works as well. It's an even better example of intermittent reinforcement. If you're wondering how to practice intermittent reinforcement in daily life, here are my suggestions. In some cases, you can generate a random number from 1 to 2, let's say. For example, if it's 1, then you should read an important book you're not really excited about. But if it's 2, then you can enjoy a movie today. You can adjust the range of random numbers, maybe from 1 to 3 or 4 or even more. Experiment. Other examples of things you can decide on this way are work out with or without headphones, eating out this Saturday or not, taking a walk or a bus drive. Actually, the options are vast and it's really fun. I've been doing it for several weeks and it feels great. Every time I skip several days and then listen to my favorite tracks again, it feels amazing. Right guys, let's move on. What else can we do? We can exercise. Actually, when I hear this type of advice, I feel a bit bored. But this is the reality. There are multiple benefits you can reap if you exercise regularly, and one of them is related to our topic. Exercising is able to improve your mood and boost dopamine levels. This is yet another reminder of how crucial it is to exercise. So if you're hesitant whether you should do it or watch YouTube, you can stop this video and without any doubt, go put in some work. Yet another small tip is to drink coffee in the morning. Ingesting caffeine is linked with increasing dopamine. And with good timing, coffee or other caffeine-based beverages are a good tool in your productivity toolkit. Coffee is able to increase alertness and affect learning, memory, and performance. Of course, it's worth keeping in mind that you shouldn't drink it close to bedtime. You can use 8 hours as a rule of thumb. Let's move to the next tip. Of course, even if you put effort in managing your motivation, it won't be a consistent companion that you can always rely on. And sometimes it takes strong discipline and willpower to power through your reluctance. Even if it may sound quite cliche, breaking your task into small manageable steps is a great advice. For example, switching to a full healthy diet is not an easy feat for most people, especially if you're used to junk food. The crazy statistics is that around 68% of food in American grocery stores contain them. When it comes to starting eating healthy, there is a bunch of things you can change. If you stick to an average diet and you want to avoid the products with added sugars, you will have to give up on most of the things you used to eat daily. Challenging, to say the least. And second, you should find alternatives. Sometimes it's even harder. Instead of eating those cookies that contain tons of sugar, you should come up with a new idea of what you can use as a snack. In order to stay motivated and at least start, break this task down into small, actionable tasks. For example, this week you will not eat cookies like Oreo and will replace it with healthy alternatives. And then something else, and so on. That's all for now. Just focus on this part of your diet. So next time you go to the grocery, don't buy Oreo. You can still enjoy your snack, but from now on, it will be something healthier. And this way you can gradually reorganize your diet and get closer to your goal. It's not as scary and impossible when you focus on your next couple of steps instead of worrying about the total distance of your run. This is how that famous 2 a.m. motivation usually occurs. You realize you want to be the best at something, like calisthenics. Suddenly in the middle of the night you realize you want to learn a muscle up. You even do a workout. But next week, without any good planning and breaking your goal into small steps, you can abandon that idea for some time. That's it, my friends. I'm glad you're here. I truly hope this video is helpful and definitely have a good day.